Raquel Rodriguez were shown on the latest episode of WWE SmackDown. This came during the segment that revealed the latest development in the case of Jade Cargill's mysterious attacker. General Manager Nick Aldis called Bianca Belair and Naomi and showed them a video recorded using a mobile phone. The video began from the moment when Jade Cargill was being put in the ambulance. The camera panned to the left to reveal Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan walking away. While it seemed the Judgment Day members attacked Jade Cargill, the 38-year-old GM might have a word with Adam Pearce to discuss the next steps to determine whether the assumption is correct. If it turns out that the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel champion and her right-hand woman are behind the brutal assault, Nick Aldis can work with Pearce to punish Liv Morgan. The SmackDown general manager can suggest that Dominik Mysterio gets signed over to the Blue Show, and the former Women's World Champion will be banned from being a part of it in any shape or form. While it would be interesting to see the couple separated, this is all speculative at this point. Liv Morgan suffered an injury on Monday Night Raw. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez fought damaged TTRL's Io Sky and Dakota Kai in a tag team match. Morgan suffered an injury near her eye owing to a knee strike, leading fans to believe that she may miss WrestleMania 41. However, Anna reported that she has not been deemed unfit for WrestleMania 41, and plans are moving forward as expected. Morgan secured her spot in the Women's Elimination Chamber match by winning against Io Sky on Raw in a singles match. Finn Balor to quit after another failure. New member revealed by Liv Morgan. 3 directions for the Judgment Day following WWE Raw this week. Things are getting more intense within the Judgment Day with each passing week on WWE Raw. This week, Dominik Mysterio and Finn Balor once again got into a heated altercation when Dirty Dom suggested adding a new member to the faction. However, the former Universal Champion firmly rejected the idea, instead asserting his focus on winning the world title at WrestleMania 41. This probably didn't sit well with Dirty Dom and his on-screen love interest Liv Morgan. In this article, we will discuss 3 possible directions for the Judgment Day following this week's Raw. 3. Finn Balor might fail to qualify for the men's WWE Elimination Chamber match due to Dominik Mysterio. One potential direction for the Judgment Day could see Dominik Mysterio accidentally costing Finn Balor his upcoming Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This scenario could unfold when Balor is competing against Seth Rollins, coming close to victory before Dominik decides to interfere. Dirty Dom's intention might be to assist Balor. However, instead, his actions backfire, causing the former Universal Champion to lose the match and fail to qualify for the chamber. This outcome would allow WWE to further escalate tensions within the villainous faction, generating even more heat and pushing the group toward an inevitable breaking point. 2. Liv Morgan might bring in a new member without Finn Balor's permission. Finn Balor has been strongly opposed to the idea of adding new members to the Judgment Day. However, if the Prince fails to win his men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, fans could see Liv Morgan taking matters into their own hands. As a consequence of Finn's loss, the former Women's World Champion could introduce a new member into the faction. Balor previously stated that he would fix things by securing a spot in the Elimination Chamber. However, if he fails, Morgan bringing in a fresh addition to the Judgment Day seems like a realistic and intriguing direction for the faction on WWE Raw. 1. Finn Balor might decide to quit the Judgment Day after another failure. With all the growing developments over the past few weeks, it appears that Finn Balor only has JD McDonough as his clear supporter, who is currently injured. Aside from him, the rest of the faction seems to be on one side, while Balor stands alone. This raises the possibility of Finn Balor quitting the Judgment Day to ultimately become a single star again. This could happen if, after Balor's potential loss, Liv Morgan takes charge and asserts that she is far better than Finn's authoritative approach in leading the Judgment Day. Frustrated by this power shift and feeling pushed aside, the former Universal Champion might ultimately quit the faction in response. This angle would allow WWE to finally turn Finn Balor into a babyface and book him as a single star on the road to WrestleMania 41. His deserting of the group could potentially take place on WWE Raw after WWE Elimination Chamber 2025, marking a major shift in the faction's dynamic. Jade Cargill, to reveal popular star, attacked her instead of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, exploring the possibility. Jade Cargill has been off WWE TV since suffering a mysterious backstage attack in November last year. Following months of speculation, WWE finally provided a major insight into the situation. Last night on SmackDown, Nick Aldis showed unseen video footage from the fateful night, in which Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were spotted around that scene. Since then, the WWE Universe has been abuzz, speculating that the Judgment Day members were the ones who attacked the Storm. However, that may not be the case, as a massive twist could be on the horizon. In a shocking turn of events, Cargill could return to SmackDown in the coming weeks and reveal Naomi to be the actual mastermind behind the entire situation. Ever since the tragic incident occurred, the Glow has been quite vocal, vehemently protesting her innocence. The 37-year-old has been putting in relentless efforts to convince everyone that she was not the one who attacked Jade Cargill. This week on SmackDown, when the video footage showed Liv and Raquel, Naomi's actions looked quite suspicious. For a fleeting moment, both of her hands were spotted resting on her head, as if she took a sign of relief. The Glow's involuntary gesture seemingly suggested she found an escape route to get rid of all the allegations. There is a good possibility that Jade Cargill could enter the fray and expose the truth, as she is the only one who is seemingly aware of the attacker's real identity. It will be quite interesting to see how the storyline shapes up in the coming weeks. Is Naomi actually the mastermind who orchestrated the assault, or is there a different side to this story? Only time will tell. Jade Cargill to make her WWE return at Elimination Chamber. The Jade Cargill situation has been getting quite interesting lately on SmackDown. Not only Naomi, but Bianca Belair is also on the list of suspects who ambushed the former AEW star. Interestingly, both superstars will be in the same ring at Elimination Chamber 2025. The EST and the Glow will compete in the women's chamber match. Given this, there are high chances that Cargill could make a thunderous comeback at the upcoming PLE in Toronto. In the middle of the match, the 32-year-old could storm into the steel structure, unleashing a brutal assault on her potential attacker. This could not only give rise to a jaw-dropping twist, but could also become the biggest highlight of the night. However, this may only happen if either Bianca Belair or Naomi is involved in the incident or associated with the situation in any capacity. It will be quite fascinating to see what WWE has in store and whether Jade Cargill shows up at Elimination Chamber. 20-year-old WWE star pays tribute to Roman Reigns in what could be his last match ever. A popular 20-year-old WWE superstar recently paid tribute to the OG Bloodline leader, Roman Reigns, at this year's NXT Vengeance Day. This could also be the star's last match ever. Javon Evans has been embroiled in a fierce feud with Ethan Page for months. In December of last year, Page viciously attacked Evans, breaking his jaw in the process. Although the 20-year-old star wanted revenge on Page, he was not medically cleared to compete. However, on last week's WWE NXT, Dr. David Cohen revealed that Evans was medically cleared to compete against Page at Vengeance Day, but he also noted that this might be the star's last match ever if his jaw breaks again. Both stars finally went head-to-head at the latest WWE NXT event, and for the most part, it was a back-and-forth affair. However, during the match, Wwe Evans paid tribute to Roman Reigns by hitting his opponent with the Superman punch. Although Wwe Evans put on an incredible fight, it was not enough to defeat Ethan Page. In the final moments of the match, Page took control of the bout and eventually emerged victorious. It will be interesting to see what the Stanford-based promotion has in store for Evans' future following this loss. Jacob Fatu will dominate Solo Sikoa and WrestleMania 41. Jacob Fatu is set to take the wrestling world by storm. He hit the mainstream American audience on June 21, 2024, making his first WWE appearance. Fatu would start as the heavy for Solo Sikoa and his iteration of the Bloodline, but has proven to be much more than just a bodyguard. Getting more spotlight and television time as of late, here is Fatu's storyline, and why he is exactly what WWE wanted Solo to be. Click here if you missed Jey Uso choosing his WrestleMania opponent. Early WWE Jacob Fatu. Solo Sikoa, once brought in as a heavy of sorts, made his first major waves as the quiet assassin of the original Bloodline. He was turned from a green freshman to a Samoan mob leader under the tutelage of his cousin Roman Reigns and his brothers, the Usos. After recruiting Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, they quickly took over the Bloodline. Solo was not ready to be a leader. While a quick learner with his family's guidance, Solo lacked both the charisma to cut an interesting promo and ability to carry a match on his own. The WWE Universe was not receptive to the Temu version of the Bloodline, with Solo eventually losing to Roman Reigns. Jacob Fatu makes his way. While lesser known, Jacob Fatu is a traveled veteran compared to Solo. Fatu made most of his noise on the Major League Wrestling roster from 2019 to 2024, including winning the MLW World Heavyweight Championship and having epic storylines with, amongst others, Alex Hammerstone and his intense heel faction, Contra. Fatu successfully helped carry the new version of the Bloodline. His charisma, intensity, ring ability, and promos all set him above the others in his faction. After proving himself a leader and champion in MLW, he had no issues playing a role for Solo Sikoa and WWE. The disparity between Sikoa and Fatu has become increasingly more apparent. The future for Jacob Fatu. To go with his explosive promos, Fatu is the most explosive Samoan on the WWE roster in the ring. After Sikoa lost the Tribal Chief title to Roman Reigns on the January 6, 2025 edition of Raw, the inaugural episode on Netflix, the cracks started to show. Sikoa ghosted his faction, and Fatu had the opportunity to front the group and cut more promos. Things were not so smooth upon Sikoa's return, and as of this article's release, further friction is foreshadowed on television. Fatu's grit and cadence stand out not only against the Bloodline, but also against the whole roster. Fatu and Tama Tonga can run a storyline together when this one eventually fades, and they are former WWE Tag Champs in their own right. Just like Roman brought in Solo only to lose his throne, Fatu is poised for status elevation via Sikoa. End of my Jacob Fatu rant. With WrestleMania approaching, one can only speculate, but WWE is teasing a split. Could the Bloodline turn into a two-man team, with Sikoa putting over Fatu at WrestleMania? Roman Reigns' net worth in 2025, current WWE salary, Jelena Becker's professional details, and more. Roman Reigns is one of the most celebrated and prominent figures in entertainment wrestling. He is slotted as the brightest star of WWE and has been reigning hearts of fans and admirers since September 9, 2010. Born in a wrestling family as Lady Joseph Anoa'i, the man has been destined to carry the legendary wrestling family's weight. Wrestling was very much in his bloodline. He has one of the most successful wrestling families, which includes his cousins Rikishi, Yokozuna, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Roman Reigns has recently completed 25 years in WWE. making a huge contribution to the wrestling entertainment industry. Roman Reigns' net worth and current salary in 2025. Roman Reigns' net worth as of January 2025 is estimated to be $14 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. Previously, his net worth in 2024 was $20 million. He earns $5 million annually from WWE, alongside earnings from movies, endorsements, and merchandise sales. Reigns has a high-paid sponsored partnership with brands like Nike, C4 Energy, and Shady Rays. He lives in a $2.43 million mansion in Tampa, Florida. Besides, he is engaged in philanthropy and donates to charitable organizations like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Relationship with Galina Becker. Roman Reigns married Galina Joel Becker in 2014 after initially meeting her during their time together as students at the Georgia Institute of Technology in 2007. Becker and Reigns have now been married for over a decade and share 5 children. While his career keeps him busy, he dedicates most of his time to his wife and children. The wrestling star recalled the early days of their relationship during an interview with WWE Unfiltered, saying, "We were just having fun. We were kind of glued to each other, just not having a care in the world or worry about anyone but us." As for Galina Becker's professional life, she holds a management degree from Georgia Institute of Technology. She is a former athlete and fitness model and was associated with the Georgia Yellow Jackets, a football team of the Georgia Institute of Technology. Roman Reigns has struggled with leukemia throughout his life, having been diagnosed with the disease twice. At the age of 22, he was first diagnosed with chronic myelogenous leukemia, CML, a disease in which the bone marrow makes too many white blood cells, according to the National Cancer Institute. In an interview with the Sager Foundation, Reigns said, "From that moment on, I relied on my mom and my family to guide me through it. Looking back at it now, I was just in shock, being so young and not facing any true adversity at that point in my life, and everything kind of went smoothly for me." What's next for Roman Reigns? The Tribal Chief Roman Reigns came back to WWE's ring for the first time during Royal Rumble 2025. Fans waited in anticipation when and how Roman Reigns would come back after his WrestleMania XL loss to Cody Rhodes. However, Reigns demonstrated his power by entering the men's Royal Rumble match without delay. As WWE prepares for the upcoming WrestleMania 41 on April 19, 20,205, the company is planning to feature Reigns after the Royal Rumble conclusion. The wrestling industry is speculating that Roman Reigns might face Cody Rhodes in a major match again. After his loss to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania XL, this will be a chance for Reigns to take another shot at the show of shows. This past Monday on WWE Raw, the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner Jey Uso secured his path to WrestleMania 41 by seeking another opportunity at Gunther and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As part of a hero's journey, many are eager for this match to occur on either April 19 or 20. However, for those who have been in the industry long enough to understand how matches appear on paper versus how they unfold in real time, Tommy Dreamer questions whether Main Event Uso and the Ring General will indeed be the main event match at this year's event. For Dreamer, there is some hesitancy. "I'm a little concerned what the main event for WrestleMania will be. What night? I don't know if this match is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, but we saw it, and I love how they did it," Dreamer said on Busted Open After Dark. "We have 10 weeks to go to heat up your heel, and I think WWE did an amazing job of heating up your heel." Since Gunther seems to have already mapped out his strategy, which he hopes will deter Uso from winning, Dreamer believes there's plenty of time to enhance Uso's relentless drive to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. However, with numerous unannounced matches still brewing, it's only a matter of time before the world knows whether Uso and Gunther will be this year's version of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, which saw Rhodes finish his story and finally become the new undisputed WWE champion at last year's WrestleMania. He's basically calling his shot, he's calling his match. I liked how they went into it, Dreamer remarked while considering what's next for the unannounced matches at WrestleMania 41. But then I'm saying to myself, man, with all these players on this field, is this gonna main event WrestleMania? The rise of John Cena. From the moment John Cena debuted on WWE television, everyone could see there was something special about him. He carried himself like a main event superstar and instantly connected with the fans, both with his entertaining promos and 5 moves of doom. Vince McMahon made him work for the big one, though, as the doctor of thugonomics, spent 3 years building up a name for himself before he finally won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 21. While JBL wasn't the biggest name Cena conquered on the grandest stage, it was a pivotal match since it symbolized the changing of the guard within the WWE. Cena's victory occurred on the same night Batista picked up the win over Triple H to secure his first World Heavyweight Championship. From a historical perspective, WrestleMania 21 marked the rise of a legend, as it etched Cena's name into the pantheon of champions. It was the first important chapter in a storied career bursting with jorts and caps, as well as a healthy attitude adjustment of hustle, loyalty, and respect. Becky 2 belts. WrestleMania 35 was a jam-packed card featuring 16 mouth-watering matches. Closing the event was a winner-takes-all triple-threat bout for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. It was also the first time in Mania history where the ladies would be headlining the main event, as the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey, took on 2 of the 4 horsewomen, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. After 20 minutes of non-stop action, Lynch pinned Rousey to take both titles, heralding the beginning of the Becky 2 belts era. It also gave Lynch the WrestleMania moment she deserved, as she had become one of the most popular wrestlers in the world in the lead-up to this gargantuan win. Unfortunately, the match's ending was mired in controversy, as the finish appeared to be botched, with Rousey's shoulders clearly lifted off the mat, while the referee counted to 3. Of course, fans took to the hate machine known as Twitter to air their grievances about the finish via USA Today. However, time heals all hurt fan feelings, and this match has come to be remembered as a monumental turning point for the careers of Lynch and Flair. Seth Rollins cashes in. Halfway into WrestleMania 31, Seth Rollins wasn't having the best of times. While he and Randy Orton burned down the house with a match for the ages, most people tend to remember it for the incredible hangtime RKO that won it for the Viper. Bruised and left licking his wounds, the former Shield member seemed like he would have to wait another year for his big WrestleMania moment, until he didn't. In the heat of the main event clash between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Rollins decided to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase while both men were down and out. Hesitating for a second, Rollins almost appeared to have lost his chance as Lesnar lifted him up for a devastating F5, but Reigns speared the beast incarnate out of his MMA boots. A curb stomp on Reigns a beat later, and Rollins celebrated by swinging the gold over his head. Considering the build-up for the show, no one predicted that the future Monday Night Messiah would be standing on top of the wrestling mountain by the end of that eventful evening. Years later, Rollins revealed it was his idea to cash in when he did. The Rock smells what Hulk Hogan's cooking. When Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the Ninja strolled into the WWE in 2002 with a too-sweet attitude, no one knew what to expect. After all, Hogan's politicking had been one of the death knells in WCW, with the legend often being accused of an unwillingness to put over the next generation. By the time he arrived in WWE, it was The Rock's yard. Pairing these two icons up was like printing money, but many feared what would happen behind the scenes. Would Hogan refuse to put The Rock over? Or would Hogan, the politician, would end the Great One's career through whispers and rumors? In the end, none of that needed to be a concern, as The Rock and Hogan put on the definition of a match for the ages. While it might not have possessed the technicality of a Michaels Hart bout, it did something really well. It read the room. Going into WrestleMania X8, The Rock was the babyface and Hogan the heel. However, this shifted on the night as the audience got behind Hogan before the bell rang. The Rock played it by ear, allowing Hogan's face turn to be organic, and wrestling more heelish to complement his opponent. After 16 minutes of two titans slugging it out, The Rock came out on top, but the match did something else too. It showed Hogan